Bullets per Minute is one of the coolest games I have played all year, and I have played a lot of games this year. It's a roguelike first-person shooter where the main gimmick is that you're required to shoot, dodge, and do everything to the rhythm of the soundtrack. You can only shoot or reload your gun during the beats and half beats of the song, which are indicated by your crosshair. Some guns can constantly be shot on both beats until you have to reload them, while other guns have to be cocked the beat after being shot. Each gun also has its own unique reload cycle. Some guns can reload with only one input, while other guns can take 2 or even 3 inputs to reload, giving you this rhythm of shooting, reloading, and moving. You also have a dash, along with other abilities that follow the same restrictions of only being able to be used to the beat of the song. It isn't easy and takes some getting used to, but when everything clicks and you're doing all this crazy stuff in sync to the music, you just feel awesome. Now, what you need to know about me is that I am a huge music nerd. I play the piano and flute, I'm 5 digits in Mania, I understand theory and all that other useless garbage, and if you couldn't tell by some of my videos, I have a huge appreciation for soundtracks in video games. So when you put me in front of a game like this, it activates something within me. Just this on its own would probably be enough for me, but you gotta remember, there is an entire roguelike here. You go through randomly generated dungeons, trying to kill each dungeon's boss to progress to the next floor, and after 8 floors, you fight the final boss and win the game. Everything is themed off of Norse mythology, with the different floors being named after different Nordic realms, like Asgard and Helheim, and the bosses being different creatures from Norse mythology, like Surt, Miskoff, and of course, the Nidhogg. I just can't escape this guy, I guess. The gameplay loop is pretty standard for a roguelike. As you kill enemies and clear rooms, you start to accumulate coins and keys. Coins are used everywhere to help progress your character and strengthen your build. Some rooms contain shrines where you can give single coins to permanently increase your character's stats. Then there's special rooms where you can actually spend your money, like shops and the blacksmith, allowing you to buy different weapons, potions, or equipment which give you passive upgrades. There's also more rare rooms for spending your money on, like the slot machine or this random chance thing. Along with coins, you've also got keys, which can be found from chests after you clear rooms and usually drop from bosses and mini-bosses. You can use keys to open locked chests, which usually contain equipment, but more notably, you can use keys to unlock special doors, the main one being the door to the library, which gives you a spell. Your character has 2 different spells which can be switched out by picking up new spells and are just extra abilities to help you in combat that still have to be timed to the music. I think my favorite aspect of the character progression is how noticeable each upgrade is. You start out dealing barely any damage and practically have no range. And if you go to try beat the first boss, you're probably gonna die. But just by upgrading a few stats and maybe switching out your weapon, you can take him out way quicker. Not to say that the game is easy, no, this game is still a challenge, but it's one where both you and the enemies around you ramp up really quickly. And on top of all these avenues for build variety, you have a bunch of different characters that you can play as, each starting with a different weapon and having a different gimmick, offering a ton of replayability. You've got challenge runs you can do, and you can even use your own music if you ever get tired of the game's soundtrack, which is pretty difficult because of how sick it already is. To be perfectly honest, there are a lot of issues with BPM. The enemies and items aren't very balanced, with these tiny flies being one of the hardest enemies to deal with, and certain items making you way too overpowered. The RNG is lacking in the right places and exceeding in the bullshit places, and the graphics are messy to say the least. But the more I played, the more I realized that I just don't care about the shortcomings. I mean, I would love to see more and see some of the problems be fixed, but I'm honestly satisfied with the current state of the game. Words just can't explain how beautiful this whole game comes together. I know games where doing actions to the beat isn't a fresh concept, but when you bring guns into the mix, which iconically sounds sick as a percussion instrument, you really do get something special. When you get into that rhythm of reloading, shooting, dodging, weaving, and using your abilities all for it to fuse together into this performance, you get a rush that few games can even come close to achieving. I don't know what I did to be born in a time where humans are capable of creating experiences like this, but whoever's out there listening, thank you.